Hi. Hi everyone. I'm very pleased that there is some people wanting to hear what I have to say today. My name is Katriina and I hope you enjoy what I have to share today. First, I'm going to just reveal to you that I fear public speaking, like a lot. So that might kind of shine through here, but I'm gonna go through this either way. So bear with me. Sorry about that. This is the first slide. So I want to first start with this quote that I don't know who has written it, but it kind of captures the essence that I want to kind of bring to this world and what my business is about. And I'm gonna actually read it to you. I will not rescue you, for you are not powerless. I will not fix you, for you are not broken. I will not heal you, for I see you in your wholeness. I will walk with you through the darkness as you remember your light. So my business name is Aamuhämärä Coaching, and in English it would be like maybe dawn coaching, I would say. And I'm going to bring you this awareness that I have right now, like what I had to go through to get to this point that I'm now an entrepreneur. And hi, welcome. So like, how did I get to this point that I'm now in this space that I want to create something to this world from myself? And I'm very fresh, so I started this April as an entrepreneur, and I'm doing everything solo, so everything is so new, and I'm just learning everything myself. So it has been quite a journey to this point, and I'm so glad that I'm now able to share things that I have learned so far as my journey unfolds in this business, but also I want to share like what needed to be done before I even took that step. And I'd like to also share this process, doing that. This process that everybody can use, so they can feel like what they want to do in life. And is it entrepreneurship or is it something else? So I hope you will get some value out of this also. And so I'm going to first introduce myself a little bit. My name is Katriina Haapala, and my first career was public health nurse. Of course, I'm still a nurse. It didn't go anywhere. I did 5-year-long career as a public health nurse in child health clinic, Neuvola. And I love that. That was almost there, like what I wanted in life, because I got to support these people that are on the verge of really big change. They are having a baby and they are going through those motions that am I gonna do it? Like, will I be enough? How am I gonna support this little human being into existence and forward? So that was, I'm still like smiling because it lifts my heart to be able to do that. But what happened? Like, why did I kind of decided that, no, this is not enough? Right now, I want to do something more. I'm gonna tell you that more in length in a while. But let's continue with the introduction first. So I'm a self-discovery and self-awareness enthusiast, and I have always been excited about psychology and like how humans operate and why do they think like and what like they do and what leads them to do the things they do, right? And of course, I had to have a crisis before like coming to this conclusion that okay, I'm not operating in life like I want to in a long term. So that kind of led me to this, like, okay, who I am and what I want to create in this life. Okay, the next one is a great one. A former people pleaser. I'd like to call myself former, but of course I still have those tendencies. I will always have them, but nowadays I have the tools to kind of overcome these people-pleasing tendencies. And I think I wouldn't be here speaking if I was in the space that I was before in my life as a people pleaser and very shy girl and kind of this nice girl that is always says, okay, what do you need, and kind of bringing and pouring to everybody else, but not for me. Okay. I'm a positive psychology coach nowadays. I graduated 2021, so this is quite new. Actually, I'd like to know how many of you know what is positive psychology? A few hands here and there, okay. Yeah, so you can think the psychology, like the study of psychology as a spectrum. There is this part that is more traditional, you know. It's the part that wants to lead the mental illness and the bad stuff to the neutral state. That how do we overcome these illnesses and these like distortions that are kind of bringing the people's ability to function in life to this neutrality. But positive psychology, it's not like, oh, positive vibes only, but it's something that studies the good aspects in life, like how can we thrive in a long run, and how can we go from this neutrality to this awesome well-being, and that we can say when we are old and we check our life and like, I lived a good life and I did these courageous things and I'm still in quite good health and stuff like that. So it's the good stuff, like what brings us more of these good things. So that is positive psychology. And as a coach, coaching is not therapy, but it's like, okay, what is present here and how can we move forward from that? So that is the combination of the two. And it was a year-long this education about the study behind that and the science behind that, and also the basic coaching. And yeah, as you already all know, I'm very fresh on my field and still learning, but I'm excited to see like what future brings. Oh, so next I'm gonna go to the story, like how did I even get to this place that I wanted to start my entrepreneur journey as a coach. And also there will be the steps that you can also kind of think through and analyze as we go through this presentation. And I hope that yes, that's the correct way. So I'm a big believer that we need these skills to be present, skills to be to feel our feelings, and this willingness to kind of discover what we are underneath all these past experiences and our childhood wounds and like all this kind of stuff that's over our like the more authentic expression, who we want to be and who we want to become. So one way to, of course, there is always many ways to self-discovery and like how you learn to be with yourself and these feelings and everything else. But one way would be the mental analyzing, like, okay, how am I right now and how did I come to this point? And then also like what will come next. So this is just an overview about everything. So this consists of who am I, where am I, and where I'm going. Like very simple, very basic stuff, right? But I'm going to go through a little bit more in depth, like what this means. And we need to have these three components when we are like trying to lead ourselves to this life that we really want to, and to reach our goals, like self-leading basically. So we need, of course, awareness, like awareness where we are and what we want, and kind of this observation who and what is happening right now as a whole. And then we need this. Oh no, I completely forgot the word. Let me check if I had put it here. We need vastuunotto in Finnish. Help me out a little bit in English. Like, yeah, responsibility. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, we need the responsibility for everything that is in our life. And that is very hard because we are so good at pointing fingers at people and our spouses and friends and systems and everything. And of course, there is always part truth in that. Like there might be something that needs to change, but we still need to take the 100% responsibility so that we can lead ourselves to something new. So if we are just going to get stuck in those cycles of the same patterns, if we are just like, okay, it's that fault of that, and it's his fault, it's her fault, it's the system's fault, and we are not then going to be able to go forward without that. And then the third part is solution orientation. So it needs the, like, okay, I have this problem here, and instead of dwelling in it and kind of just saying like what everything is wrong in it, we need this space that, okay, we have this right here, but let's put it aside. Where do I want to go? It's like this, like what I can do, these small steps right now so I can move forward. So these three components you need to this self-discovery and also the self-leading journey. Okay, so let's go more in depth, like what this might look like for you and what it looked for me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my crisis and what kind of started the snowballing effect of what I'm trying to bring now forward. So I've always been this big people pleaser, as I've already told you. And I really praised myself for it. It was like, I'm this nice girl. Like, why isn't everybody so nice and good and like thinking other people like me? Like, I had this defense mechanism that kind of worked for me to one point, but didn't work like going forward. It didn't work in a relationship. It did work when I was a child, of course, and I repeated the pattern. And it was a very tough pill for me to swallow, that this doesn't work anymore. I can't keep on going like this, that I'm just sacrificing some parts of me for somebody else or this system or anything that is outside of me. And when I realized that I'm doing something wrong, okay, I could blame somebody else. I have been through like this, that anybody could say, yeah, that's not good. You were like treated badly. But yeah, that's correct. But I needed to take the responsibility that, okay, how did I enable this? How did I contribute to this dynamic? And why didn't I change it? And then I had to kind of dig deep, like, why did I do that? And I had the therapy to kind of help me with that and to reshape the past, that the stories that I told myself about who I was and who I wanted to be, so that I could move forward. And I needed to kind of drop the I'm this kind person identity, like, completely. I still am, but I couldn't identify with it anymore. Because that clearly led me to situations and these relationships that just took away from me and didn't give me. So that's why you need to know also your past, like, kind of be the observer, like, okay, what happened? What tendencies do I have that kept me in these cycles or brought me to this outcome? Of course, this who I am, like, consists of, like, okay, like, what are my core values? What roles do I have? Like, am I a mother? Am I a student? What do I identify with? And also kind of be very aware, like, how that shapes you, and does it box you in some kind of very narrow identity. Then, of course, personal traits, like very realistic observation that, like, okay, I may know my weaknesses, or I may kind of with myself, like, from these shortcomings I have, but also the strengths, like, and you need to have self-compassion for like everything, but like also the strengths, like, what am I good at? And it might be just like, okay, I'm a very understanding person, or it's a strength of mine that I'm able to kind of take this kind of see, like, where other person is coming from, and that is the kindness and the understanding. And okay, it's It can be restricting if I identify myself too much and to that strength, but it's still a gift. But I need to just kind of teach myself to use it in a healthy way. And then, of course, my beliefs. Beliefs are just thought forms, patterns that we go instantly in reaction to something, and we might have learned them, and they can be restrictive or liberating, and we can form them in a new way, in that awareness that, okay, this is a restrictive belief, and it leads me to act in a certain way, and that is not serving me. So all these things might be something that you'd like to consider when you want to know like what to do next, and even the small steps and very things that you do in everyday life. It helps that you know, like, okay, there is these things I do, but I don't maybe want to anymore, and I'm just aware of them. Then the next point would be the where am I right now, and there would be the like, okay, what small steps I'm going to make so my life turns out better than it was. And because we are not going to be able to just change ourselves like that. It's gonna take time, because we have learned these patterns like in the period of many years. So there needs to be this period of time when you're learning something new. So for me, I've been on this self-discovery journey for 3 years, like more in depth, like in this crisis I had. It was the breakup from my first boyfriend. I'm gonna be honest about that. That was the crisis. Like I didn't have the identity, and I didn't have even the willingness to kind of think that, okay, who am I? And because I lived through the relationship back then, and yeah, it was very sobering to live for yourself for the quite first time, and see, okay, what am I doing when I'm alone? And yeah, a little side trail there, but yeah, what I started to do was like, okay, my sleeping habits are off, and I'm feeling tired quite often. So then I started to kind of shift that, okay, maybe I'm going half an hour like earlier to sleep, or things like that. It's like very small steps, and not everything at the time. It's just like you focus on one in a long period of time, and even though you can make the assessment like, okay, I have all these things that I'd like to change, but you need to focus on one first, and then snowball on that. And if you are doing this assessment, I did like on a piece of paper that, okay, what do I need to change? It was like, okay, there is so much, but okay, now I feel like that it could be this one, and to start with the basic needs, preferably. But of course, people know best usually like what they need, and it might not be the sleeping habits or exercising or things like this. Moving on. And then there would be this like, okay, where am I going? I didn't know how to answer this question at first at all. Like, yeah, I knew what I wanted like next month maybe, but all I could say really was that, I want to feel more love, or I want to have more peace Is that good? If somebody like did ask me like, where do you want to be in 5 years? I don't know. Like no ambitions, no nothing to kind of grab on. And I want to say that it's okay. That your goal can be like, I want to feel more peace, and then the like discovery what that means for you, what the feeling of peace would be for you. And for me, it was this just doing these little things that, okay, I'm feeling better when I'm meditating like 10 minutes before I'm going to work. And it would make me more calm. And it would be these things. And then at some point I realized, okay, I want to feel more excited. Where do I find it? And then I started to journal that, like every day, what excited me? Okay, writing down. And then after a month, I just brought it all together and okay, I'm very excited about self-discovery. Okay, I'm excited about the parents' journey to this motherhood or fatherhood. Yes, okay, now I know what I'm excited of, and I could kind of focus my attention on those things. And then after a while, it started to form that, okay, I want more of this. Be able to kind of do my own schedule, be able to flow with my own rhythms. I want to have more time discussing with people like how do they feel and where are they going and what are their goals, and not just the measurement part that the child health clinic appointments kind of was also about. And it like swallowed like almost the whole appointment. Of course, there were like this slight coming, like if 5 minutes, a good discussion about some mental health or something like that. But it was, even though it was exciting for me, that was not enough. I wanted to expand that excitement that I felt. And that at one point, I just realized that I'm not gonna be here like for the rest of my life. I want to expand this excitement and my passion. Now it has turned to passion even, and I want to educate myself more on these topics that excite me. Yeah, so you might need to kind of revisit those questions many times, and it's not linear, and it's not gonna be like, okay, now I'm just writing down who am I and doing that over and over, but it's still this willingness to kind of look within and do like kind of see like where your feelings are leading you to, so that you can lead this all the time more thriving and exciting and loving life. Okay, so that's where I found my courage to step up and bring this business of mine to life. And it did need a lot, like years of unraveling and feeling what I need and want. And I'm thinking about this quote, and it's like, we need to see ourselves first. Of course, we get help from around, and we can have these reflections from other people, like, okay, you're very good at that, and oh wow, that you did that speech very well, and stuff like that. But first, we need to discuss and negotiate and see ourselves, so that we can go towards what we want and not like what somebody else wants from us. Okay. So next, I'm gonna tell you about like what my business is like, and what my future aspirations are. There was this bonus part that said, "What is my purpose?" I hope that I'm able to go through that in a few minutes, the last thing today. But we'll see, because that is the process that helps you to kind of figure out your purpose if you don't have one already. So yeah, my business has been alive for half a year, and first it was building a website and learning how to do that, and also it was chaos, I'm gonna be honest, because there is so much like what you need to build, and you're kind of overwhelmed like what you need to do. And as a nurse, I didn't have any like experience. I had a little bit experience about accounting maybe, but nothing like what do I need to do this marketing work or my website work and stuff like that. So still in process, but I still wanted to kind of pinpoint first like this foundational thing, which is super important when you're thinking about the business you want to kind of water and get the seed to be this awesome plant. Like, you want your business to be in integrity, like who you are and what you want to bring forward. You want it to, if it's not who you are, but it's still something that comes out of you. So if it's not in line with your values and your kind of essence, it's gonna drain you. And if you're building a business that doesn't take care of your health and well-being, like why are you doing that? Like, of course, there can be many reasons, but like the support and the foundational thing should be like in everything that you do, like the basic needs. And of course, the business it can grow if you are sacrificing all the time your needs, and it can lead to very rapid growth even. But how long is it gonna last if you are not kind of bringing the foundation to the level that you can also thrive in? Does that make sense? Yeah. So the business would be about also like how you can be present in it and how it supports your well-being. And of course, like what I want to do in my day-to-day life, of course, I speak as a solopreneur because there can be in more like big business, there are many roles, and you can kind of choose maybe more. But when you are alone, you need to be very aware like how you want your day-to-day life to be. And then there is a listed different aspects of my work. So yeah, I kind of forgot to mention the systems and building them in the first place, because that was the first thing that I did. I don't know if that was the good one, but of course I did that. And yeah, I think it was a good one because I needed the website, I needed some kind of booking system, and kind of figure out where the flow that where my clients would go. And of course, there is the basic appointments that I do. They are not every day, so I have time also to just stay in that creative space and kind of think also like what I want to do next. And even when I think that there will be more clients and stuff like that, I'm going to want to have these planning days that I'm gonna vision like what I want to do next. So I'm still like 2 steps ahead, like where I'm now, like where I want to go and how I'm gonna evolve from this. So not getting stagnated. Okay, social media and marketing. I'm in Instagram. I have 2 accounts. I have my personal account, Katriina, and also now the business account, Aamu Hamara. And those are my main channels right now. I'm building an email list. And I'm doing that basically. First I did that because everybody said that you should have that. but I now agree with that because you are able then reach your audience more readily. And what if like the Instagram like is not no more next day? What do you do then? So then you need to have some kind of your own client base that just you own, not the Instagram owns or the TikTok owns or some kind of other platform. The email list is that way quite good to have. I do my own accounting. Maybe I'm going to at some day bring it to somebody else, but nowadays I'm doing it. And I wanted to include the day-to-day boundaries around work because it is so easy to just work full day and kinda take pauses, but not really. And because you are working at home, I'm working at home, that means that there is not this boundary like in workplace to my own home. So I need to be very careful, like with that structure. At that, when am I gonna stop working today and stuff like that. And then the self-improvement part is very important also because that also kind of brings energy for me, and for somebody else it might be something else. But as a coach, I think the self-improvement part is very necessary. We still have plenty of time, so then I have this list like what have I learned so far. Of course, I've shared a bit already, but the one thing I learned was this, that you can have marketing wounds. And I don't know how, of course, I'm in this like self-improvement stuff and like quite much, but how many of you have heard about like money wounds? Is it money wounds? No one? Okay, it's this idea that like whatever upbringing you had and what kind of experiences you have with money, it's gonna impact the way you are going to have money, because we tend to repeat things that we have seen and what we have encountered in our life, at least in our early life. So we can have, it's this idea that we can have these money wounds. Okay, maybe an example. If I have like all my life I've heard that my parents say that, okay, money is very short and we don't have any money for that. And we need to like keep this money and you can't have that because we don't have this money. And even though as an adult, you would have a money, you'd still be like, oh no, maybe, what if this is gonna like go suddenly and I don't have that? That is very basic kind of example of that we still carry those feelings with us about money due to our day-to-day life. And if we are not aware of those, it might impact the way that we use money. And it might impact the way how we invest in our business or ourselves. So something to consider. But what I discovered that you could have also marketing wounds. This is not like any framework or anything, but it's this funny way to say that like, okay, as a people pleaser and shy, nice guy, it is very hard for me to kind of bring work forward, like, hey, I'm doing this thing, and would you be interested, like buying from me? It's super hard, and because I want to be the easygoing guy, and I don't want to like push myself on anybody's face, and that makes the marketing very hard. Of course, it doesn't have to be like this very pushy thing, but in my mind, it was this this like thought form that like all marketing is bad, even though it's not. Of course, it's not. But it took me 4 months doing my business. Oh, I have these kinds of beliefs here somewhere in my subconscious, and going through those have helped me a lot. Even though I have not been aware of those like many months, just 2 months, but I still already know this, that I'm doing something different in social media, and I'm talking a little bit differently about my business, and I'm more readily expressing what I'm doing and stuff like this. Then there is this, this I shared already, but the need to structure your days. That was very important, at least for me. I'm very flowy person. Like, if you would say if there is this like archetypes like feminine and masculine, I'm very feminine in my flowy essence, and I scatter all around when I'm trying to do this and that, and I don't have the structure that would keep me in place to do like, okay, I need to focus on this one task. I would go to many different places, and I don't feel like doing that. Maybe I do this, and that's why I need a lot of structure to kind of, okay, I have a business to run. I need to, on Mondays in afternoon, I'm going to write these social media posts, or that day on that week, I'm gonna have space to visualize the next step on my business and stuff like that. I need that so much. And maybe the last thing, at least on my list here, would be that the rest is needed if you are trying to be creative. Of course, everybody knows this, I believe, but if you're I would like to, in my business, when I'm writing these social media posts, it feels like that I need to push this out, and I need to kind of pressure myself to do them, because there is this idea that I need to be consistent, and of course this is true also, but there is this energy of like, I have to do this, and I'm not in the mental space of doing it right now, and there is this pushing, and then I'm not like being in touch with myself, that my body says that, okay, you need to rest a bit, and then you might flow a little bit better, and the creativity will come, and you need to just trust that. Don't push. And that's something, at least for me, that that I need to remind myself constantly that if you're trying to do something new, you need to be in touch like what your body is trying to say and what your feelings are trying to say, and still commit to inspired action, not just laze around, but you need to also kind of respect the message that your body is telling you. Okay, I'm happy because this is my last slide and we are still on time. So I'm able to go through this. This here is this process by Adam Leipzig. He has a TED talk about this on YouTube. I recommend to check it out. But these are the questions that anybody can use to discover their purpose. And it also feels very simple, and it is. And everybody can do that right now and kind of mentally analyze, like, what would you answer to these questions? Who are you? Okay, I gave a lengthy speech, like, okay, it's not so simple like how you answer who are you, but now I'm just gonna say, like, I'm Katriina, and that's it. What do you do? And preferably, there would be the love to do, because you want to do in your life something that lights you up, something that you feel passionate about, something that kind of comes more naturally than pushing. So for me, it would be, what do you love to do? I love to coach. I love to be with other people and communicate and guide them through their own mental and feeling realms, if that makes sense. Who do you do it for? In my business, I do it for other people pleasers like me, and people that don't feel like that they are in charge with their life, and those who want to grow and evolve. So it's not just for people pleasers, but it's quite wide client base still, but those are the specs. Then what do those people want? And they want change and new direction that is in tune with who they are. That's how I would answer that. And how do they change after working with you? And this is I think the most fun part. I wrote, they are able to trust themselves, be proud of who they are, reach their goals, and move forward in life. And what makes this fun, that was not fun, but what makes this fun is that when people approach you, we have this, and this is something that this Adam Leipzig, if you are going to check the TED talk, also talked about. Like, if they come to you like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. What are you doing in life? These very basic questions. You don't have to say like, oh, I'm a public health nurse, or I'm a coach, or something, or, well, you get the drift here. You can answer, I help people to X. I help people to insert the fifth question answer. I help people to trust themselves. You can leave it at that. And it's like, interesting, okay, how do you do that? And there would be the discussion. Or you can choose the, I help people to be proud of who they are. Oh, okay, how do you do that? And that is much more interesting, that what you are able to offer somebody than just the, I'm a nurse. Oh, cool. So just a fun little thing to how you can also appreciate yourself, like what you're doing a little bit more. And that's also at the same time your purpose, at least at this point, and this can change. So definitely recommend to write yourself down these things and see what answers come. Okay, I was fast. Thank you so much for listening to me, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Katriina, so much for a very lovely presentation. I think all of us need in life to learn to appreciate ourselves, and when we can do that, then we can help others to maybe appreciate themselves even better.
So well said.
But it was really nice to hear that, how you gave us kind of a roadmap. It was really interesting when you told that, when you need to know yourself. One important point was probably that also is important today for you is knowing what excites you, because that will help you through to go towards more things that excite you. And when things excite you, they make you more happy.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I would add to that the stuff that you're focusing on, they expand. I maybe said that a little bit differently in this presentation, but if you are choosing to focus on the excitement, it will expand. If you're choosing to focus on this gratefulness that you have in your life, it will expand. If you're choosing to focus on this misery you have, it will expand. Sorry. But of course, you need to still feel the misery and the grief and the anger behind those. And to do that properly, not kind of stuffing them down, but you can still choose to expand the things in the meantime, like the other things. Sorry.
Yeah, and we'll soon let the audience also ask you some questions, but you mentioned the money wounds. Did I understand correctly? Have you noticed what type of other wounds do we have, except money wounds? What are the other common types of similar phenomena that you have probably noticed maybe in your customers?
That's a very good question. I think there is lots of different frameworks around this. One would be possibly the do I remember it in English? Tunnelukot would be in Finnish at least. That's one way to kind of analyze what kind of wounds you may have. So these feeling locks. I know that that's not the correct translation.
Emotional locks.
Emotional locks. That would be the. But if you Google that, you won't probably find the framework. It's in different name. I have Googled it once, but I don't remember that. But emotional locks, they kind of are inside of you. These they can be I'm not enough, or I'm always left, or I'm always abused, and it contains these very intense feelings that are related to the thoughts, and the thoughts of course create the feelings, and the cycle continues, and they kind of strengthen each other. If you're able to see what emotional locks you have, I had a very big the word in English, no, alistuneisuus would be the word. Okay. Ahdistuneisuus, niin kuin alistuneisuus. Joo, kyllä. And also this seeking for appreciation, or not appreciation, like acceptance. Yes, seeking of acceptance would be this very top wounds I had when I tried to dig those, and I had to come to terms with this. okay, I have this very intense lock of that I want to have acceptance outside of myself. How do I heal that? Okay, I need to find the ways to accept me just for me and not through somebody else's acceptance. Just for example, there is 18 different emotional locks on this framework. So, and there is a test online. Like in Finnish, at least, there is tunnelukkosi.fi. So there you can also find those.
So you mentioned already, like you can figure out your own emotional locks through this website, but is there any way that we can try to figure out our own emotional locks in our daily lives? Like how should I approach it? Like if I should figure out my own?
I would start observing. Just move to the observer position, and you don't have to use the past experiences to start that. It's just like, okay, when I go to this space and I feel a certain way, I can maybe like feel the anxiety or feel some kind of anger or feel like some intense feeling. Then I would go like, okay, now I can check the past. Like, is this feeling familiar? Have I experienced this before? And also, of course, feeling and trying to be willing to feel that feeling. They are usually so overwhelming that we are just trying to go, run from them or hide them under the rug or kind of explain them away. And or I have always been this way, that I get this anxious feeling here, and this is just the way I am, and I don't want to like look what that contains. So in day-to-day life, if there is intense feeling that is a little bit off, I don't, that you feel like that, okay, not everyone is experiencing this thing like me. Okay, is there something? And reflect that, is there some kind of like, does this feel familiar? Okay, yes, I had this kind of same experience when I was 6, and okay, and maybe the awareness itself usually kind of liberates something. It's not the cure, but it still liberates us to feel like that, okay, maybe I'm not in that situation anymore. I'm not 6 anymore. I'm not this powerless child anymore. And I can choose to be an adult for this child that is inside of me. And I can try think differently and affirm differently and grow this adult side of me that is gonna support that scared little child inside of you that is scared in those situations. Even today, we carry our past inside us still. So I think that would be like the very practical way. But of course, you need time to also just be with those feelings and reflect. That would be one way, at least.
Thank you for your tips. Okay, now, audience, you have now great opportunity to ask some questions. We have a mic box, a blue one. Feel free to do some cooperation, and you can just throw it because it's a very soft, but don't worry about the aiming. But does anybody have questions? You can also ask in Finnish, and we can translate them, of course, if needed. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your presentation, your stories, everything that you've gone through. It was really kind of empowering to hear someone come up and be willing to be so open about the stuff that they've gone through, because you don't see that very often. People coming up and just very candidly sharing what came before the success story. So thank you very much for that. My question is, what's something that you're the most proud of on your journey? It can be during your crisis, it can be during building your business, but yeah.
This is a lovely question. Thank you. And thank you for your kind words. What am I most proud of, like on my journey on this? 4-year journey. I think I'm most proud of that. I'm nowadays able to. I'm starting to cry a little bit. Able to support me, respect me, love me. I'm able to kind of stand on my own 2 feet, have my back straight, and be proud of who I am, even though I'm nervous still being here before you. But I'm still able to do that I have this courage to, nowadays, this courage to evolve and kind of embrace the things I want to be, even though they are quite hard sometimes, and that there is this inner world that now I'm in contact with, and it's gonna lead me to those whatever comes next, So quite a wide answer, but it contains so much, like the feeling, just the feeling that I'm now supporting me, like, and it has not always been the case, and that's I'm the most proud of. Thank you for that question. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation.
Okay. Any other questions that you would like to ask?
Ex-basketball player. I also wanted to agree with Jen that you don't see every day how people just come up like in front of random people and like share their life story. So I really applaud you for doing that.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, it's a very different question, but how did you start building up your clientele? So I know you were a nurse, but how did you, because it's like being a nurse is more like, like the physical and stuff. So how did you shift to the emotion supporting needing people?
What was the last part? No, I understood the client.
Yeah, so like how did you find your clients, basically?
Okay. Yeah, that's still in progress. But for me, it was first, and it is still first, the coaching I did before I graduated. I was able to coach 10 lovely people when I was in education, and through them I have had my clients. They have spoke about me a little bit to their friends, and also just the appreciation that they've shown for what I've done has gone a long way. Also, the social media has been, for me, the great way to kind of connect with new clients. So, of course, it's harder because they don't know you that well, and I'm still kind of in the learning process to show up from I'm still in process in showing up in social media and everywhere else, because of course I have now showed up for me, but okay, how do I expand that even more? Like how am I gonna be able to shine these realizations and everything else to somebody else and still feel like that, okay, this is something that people want to hear, and they are going to benefit from it. So it's still something that I'm learning, but I'm happy that there is already people that are kind of hearing the message, even though I have not done it yet with this full capacity that I know I own, but it still has a way to go. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you would like to also ask from positive psychology? Yeah. Hey.
Ready?
Yes.
Next time. Yeah, actually, very simple. How did you get started in positive psychology? Because I've never heard of it before. I've heard of pretty much standard psychology and working through traumas and fears, etc. But positive psychology is new to me. So how did you come across it, and how did you decide that that was the thing for you?
Very good question. For me, first, I juggled between first, like, do I want to be a therapist? Or, okay, then I heard one of my friend told me, my sister is a coaching client for somebody. Like, oh, what is a coaching? I didn't know at the time. And then, okay, you can do that also. And that is also like human to human, and you're having appointments. That's quite cool. And then there was this really low point when I was working as in that child health clinic, that I felt like this card castle that I built all over again all that time, it just crumbled down. And I was like, oh, I'm so tired that it always comes down to this, that I'm feeling so tired of trying to keep this card castle like intact, and I need to do something else. I want to at some point do something else, even though I love this work, the meat in it, like everything in that, but not the schedule, not the rhythm. So I just started to Google. What kind of educations there are? What do they offer? What different companies there are that are? I Googled therapy and also coaching, and then I just stumbled upon this Positive Education, this company that is operating in Finland, and I was like, okay, positive psychology, that sounds very like too high vibes only. But I didn't feel that. But somehow I was very intrigued. And when I compared to coaching these education programs, I felt like that this was the most, the widest, the most, it felt very professional, and it contained 60 opintopistettä, like
credits, study credits.
Yeah. So that was quite good, and then I just leaped. I was okay. I'm gonna see what this is about. Positive psychology. This can't be that bad, and I'd like to do some kind of more education for myself. And the first call and the class, I was like, okay, this is for me. Yeah, I've done a lot of this stuff already, but and for me and myself, but now there is this study behind it, and now there is like some kind of scientific proof that okay, these things work. This kind, like all this meditation, there is scientific proof that it works, and how does it work? And there is scientific proof for the gratefulness exercise and what you can benefit from that. And like, okay, it's not just this very woo-woo stuff. It's hard facts. And that was like the place for me. And I'm very happy that I chose that special, that specific education for me.
Thank you for sharing. I actually have a second question. Is there anyone else who wants to go before me? Nope.
Go ahead.
Okay. So actually a little bit of a harder one. What would you, is there anything that you would criticize about positivity education? Because the thing that immediately comes to mind to me is that it's very context specific. First of all, you have to know that positive psychology is out there and have the access to the information, to the tools to be able to make the best use of it. And that's just not available to everyone all over the world, as sad as it is. So obviously that's not really something that positive psychology can compensate for if it's only, in a certain context. But I was just wondering, having gone through the course now and gotten the 16 credits, what are your reflections on the course? And is there anything that you think that could be improved with it?
The last two words.
Improved with it, with the course.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, there was something that I would have liked to improve. There was very good interventions and tools and stuff like that within, and how you do coaching and stuff like that within the education. But I very often kind of paused when I reflected through the materials that where is the darker side of this humanity, because it was in that education, it was very much the neutrality to that positive aspects, but it kind of felt like that there was not that much mention of and I felt like that it needed more more exposure, that sometimes we get to this positive place even through and maybe even because of this crisis and these very hard feelings and experiences, and even trauma. And of course, it's not for everybody that like you said, they don't have the tools, or sometimes of course every situation is very specific, and there needs to be some kind of evaluation, what is good for somebody. It's not for everyone, and we are at the different levels. I'm not meaning to kind of put it like this, but still on different spaces in our journey. So I felt like that it needed a little bit more of that. But there was this one book that I decided to read, and it was the darker side of positive psychology, and it was just the criticism that I had during the education. And it contained also this resilience and a little bit more this deeper side of very complex stuff, that it's not just the positive interventions. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you. That answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, audience, for asking all the questions, and thank you for answering all of them. I would really like to thank you, Katriina, for bringing such a positive message today to Polku. Thank you for the speech.
Thank you so much for listening. Have a nice day.